Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Miss Erin has local news getting ready next.
Cold is gripping the region. We'll talk more about that this morning. The mayor says she did lose faith in Chief Alan Crump. We'll talk more about that too. And the search for a 13-year-old accused of murder.
Speaking of our conversation with Mayor Ollie Tyler yesterday, a lot of local reaction from listeners and local people of influence, let us say. We will review, and if you missed it, the interview with Mayor Tyler will replay in just about 35 or 40 minutes. Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, right here, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. FM 710 Keel on Thursday morning traffic. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty.
Woohoo!
Keel app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So how many texts
I can't even.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can't even start.
Well, grab your phone.
I got so
and
many.
read me the best ones.
Oh, Lord.
At 7:40 yesterday morning, we had what we planned to be a 5 or 6 minute interview with Mayor Ollie Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up going about 13 or 14 minutes. I mention that because the term we use, and I used this a bunch on the air yesterday, the term we use in radio is an off-ramp or looking for a break point or something like that. The point is we say off-ramp, meaning, okay, time to get out of this interview. We've been going about 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. And you can sort of feel the momentum waning. Well, every time yesterday in our conversation with Mayor Tyler that the momentum would start to wane or we'd start looking for that off-ramp, she'd say something that was, as you said, I said she'd press the accelerator to the floor again. And, what do you think, in retrospect yesterday?
Why'd she do it?
What do you think was the singular... Do you want to say what it was, or do you want to play it? Because we've got the bite.
I just want to play it.
You look a little. You look as though you have. Is that a tone of regret? What the hell?
No, it's not a tone of regret.
Are you surprised she finally said that? Are you surprised she said it?
I was surprised,
Are you surprised she said it so late?
I'm surprised she said it so late.
Is it political
and
timing?
I'm wondering why she did it. I'm wondering why. Was it innocence?
You mean why she said it, or why she did it in reference to Chief Crump now?
Why she said it in reference to Chief Crump both.
Chief Crump getting roasted.
He's getting roasted. He's getting roasted and toasted and grilled and stretched and diced.
For altering his retirement plans.
You bet.
For going from resigning as chief of police to taking extended sick leave.
And you know what it could have simply been? He met Friday morning with his team.
He met Friday morning with his financial advisor.
And he told them he was going to retire.
Look.
Hey, wait, let me finish. He probably goes to the doctor later that day and realizes, you know what? You do have a problem that we probably need to address. And then he realized, I can make this medical instead of retirement, and I'm going to need a note from you, etc.
There's not a fireman or a policeman in Shreveport who is on that 3-year drop program who doesn't know exactly how it works and knows exactly how
you're
long they
right.
need
You're right.
and knows exactly the way to, and I can't say as I blame the guy.
I can't either.
What if I work or don't look? When my brother retired from the fire department, they owed him a year or something vacation.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to do? Not take it?
And in December, if a new mayor comes in, I'm going to get demoted to a lower salary.
If we were allowed here to roll over time or to sell time back to the company, wouldn't you think about doing that with all the time you accrue by the end of the year?
Yeah.
Where both of us, because of our extended, because we've been here so long, we get, look, you and I are on the good deal here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay? I mean, at the end of the year, you and I are fighting to get the 5 weeks or whatever it happens to be in, right?
Yeah, I'm out after today.
If they'd let you sell a week or 10 days back,
Give me the cash.
or if they'd let you say, you know what, we'll just set that aside and pay you a lump sum when you leave the company. And if you could get 4 or 5 or 6 months accrued, or if they paid you for sick days because of your contract,
Right.
and you got paid for those days whether you took them or not.
I did get some interesting texts, though. One says this: why are we paying 2 chiefs and a deputy chief? The department has no direction. Another text says, yes, you can be fired on sick leave. I need to clear that up. So could you fire him while he's on sick leave? I didn't think you could.
How many times did the mayor tell us yesterday you can't fire him, meaning Chief Crump or the chief of police at all?
Yeah, you can't fire him.
I heard from 4 or 5 Shreveport police officers yesterday. Solid endorsements, even praise for Ben
Yeah.
Raymond.
What Chief Crump is lacking is the killer instinct.
Okay, so if you missed our interview yesterday with Mayor Ollie Tyler, this is the little tease. We will play it in its totality at about 6:40 or so, but this is, and it starts with your question, and this is the one that got all the interest from all the TV stations and the Times and everybody else. Can we use your interview? It's on the website. Can you send us a copy? It's on the website. The point is, here is our Mayor Ollie Tyler interview replay tease, and I think it is probably the most significant part of yesterday's chat.
Mayor, and I don't know that you'll answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Sure,
And I hate to even ask it, but I'm going to do it.
sure.
Did you stand behind Alan Crump too long?
I think I did. I'm honest about that, and I take ownership on that. Yes, ma'am.
Explain
And
why
I
you
really
say
tried.
that.
I tried to give him a chance.
Wish you hadn't? Wish you'd moved on earlier?
Well, let me say this to you, Erin. You know, I don't do anything to hurt anybody.
So there you go.
Whew. And the full interview is coming up at about 6:40. It is lengthy. If you missed it, a lot of folks have to go to work at 7 and didn't hear
We
it.
were talking off the air right there for a second, which is why we were just a skosh late coming back in.
Ooh-wee.
Did you hear what I asked you off the air?
Not really.
Damn. There was one comment made. I don't know if it was a public comment or if it was a text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said I was soft on her.
Did they say you or we?
Said Erin was soft on her.
Yeah.
Let me try to read that.
Well,
Seriously?
only in the sense that you said, I kind of hate to ask you.
You were favoring Ollie in the interview. How do they interpret it like that? That's another text from someone I got. I was favoring her I was just trying to be. It's one of my little techniques, people, and I don't want to give out my secrets. But
No, because if the mayor's listening, she's going, wow, Erin was just playing me? So
Well,
be careful what you say.
I know. It's just you try to say, I know you probably won't answer that, but I'm hoping, you might not go there. And when you say you might not go there, they're like, I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go there. Mm-hmm. And some people go there. And some people won't. Some people say, no, you're right. I'm not answering that.
Miss Ollie did, and we will replay the entire interview from yesterday in just about 15 or 20 minutes.
Got another text that said, not only did she throw him under the bus, She peeled out on him.
Wow. That was with an L, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double check that.
Woo! Robert.
Look, it's early in the morning. We tend to slur. 19 past 6 o'clock. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.107 FM, 710 KEEL Sports Update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Kiera Anthony scored a school record 50 points Wednesday night in the Thomas Assembly Center to lead the Lady Texters to a 100-88 overtime win over Houston. The senior from New Iberia broke Sheila Etheridge's mark of 47 points that set the standard in the 1990-91 season. Anthony and her teammates struggled in the first two quarters as Tech trailed 46-36, and she only had 6 points at the break. She added 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth, and Kiera Anthony scored 13 of the Texters' 20 in the extra frame to put away the Cougars. Speaking of Lady Texters, they added one to their mix for next season when Cedar Creek's Anna Laura Roberson signed on the dotted line. Loyola girls hoopster Chelsea Johnson joined the Texas State squad. Airline catcher Hayden Travinsky signed his letter of intent with LSU baseball on Wednesday to headline a bevy of local signees in hoops, track, softball, and baseball, according to the Shreveport Times. Benton's Cole Horton signed with Northwestern State, and Turner Toms inked with Nichols. Parkway Panther Eric Brown with Coastal Carolina. In track and field, Captain Shreve standouts Kennedy Hurd, Kennedy Gerard signed with Prairie View and UL Monroe, respectively. The NFL week kicks off tonight with a couple of teams desperate for a win. Green Bay visits Seattle tonight in the NFL. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Oh, my God. You know the things? 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You have told me before you don't remember most of your dreams, if at all, right? You told me that once?
Yeah, but I had a dream last night.
Yeah.
I dreamed we had a rogue producer in the room.
Like what rogue producer? Like you mean?
Like there was a lady that was in Matt's spot for the day. She was substituting for Matt.
And she just did whatever she wanted?
Wait. You and I were in the middle of talking about something. You took a breath. She started playing something else.
Yeah.
And it was some commercial for her father's business that went on for like 12 minutes.
What's the old?
That's my dream.
Okay. Psychologist Dixie Richards. What's her old line about dreams?
What is the emotion in the dream you're experiencing in real life?
That's really what the dream's about.
Yeah.
That it's not symbolic or, like hot dogs chasing donuts through tunnels and stuff like that. That's no.
So funny you mentioned dreams
When
today.
we get off the air, I will tell you what your dream was about.
Really?
Yes, I know exactly what
Matt
it was.
got a new job?
No. Matt's leaving?
Matt's leaving? I don't know about it?
No, mine was the consultant, our corporate talk show consultant, talk format consultant came to town. And he thought you were awesome. And then he had a private meeting with me. And you know that stupid, acting.
Oh, and he said I sucked? Yeah.
No, you were fine. But you know that voice I do?
Oh,
and
yeah.
now we're that's just silly little
Yeah.
voice I do sometimes. He wanted me to do the whole show in that voice.
Oh, dang.
101.7 FM and 710.
Wow. I never dream about work.
Yeah.
Ever.
I dream about work all
This
the
was
time.
my first dream about work in probably 10 years.
Well, you weren't dreaming about work. When we get off the air, I'll tell you what it really was.
Oh, okay.
And
It's not looking good for you.
This
No, it's
chick
not.
went rogue.
And what she looked like.
She was blonde.
Yeah.
She was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But she just went rogue, and
I
you
will
kept
tell
saying,
you-
stop that. She said no.
When we go to break, I promise, because I'm not going to tell you on the air because it would break a confidence. But I will tell you exactly what that dream is about.
Really?
You have DavTac again tonight.
Yes, and if you want to join me for the Women's Introduction to Firearms class, registration begins at 5.
Why do you have your head in your hands?
Well, it's just sometimes the thought of Erin having a gun makes me sweat.
If you look
The
at
class starts at 5:30. And you can't just show up. It's not free. They are a business in to make a profit. But you can call them and check out the price. But I'm going to be there, hands on guns, shooting, having a good time, learning more. And I won't ask as many questions tonight. So this will go a little quicker probably. Because I had to know everything. I have one more question for you, not on that subject, because Matt didn't help me.
What was that?
What's a squishy?
I have no idea.
I need to know what a squishy is.
Is this something horrible?
I have no idea what she's talking about.
I want a squishy. It's supposed to be the thing everyone wants this Christmas.
Really?
I need a squishy.
Well, I have a thought on what that is related to.
My
someone,
God, look at the time. 28 past 6 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Don't forget a replay on a somewhat serious note of our interview yesterday with Mayor Ollie Tyler coming up in about 10 minutes. Erin has local news up next. Speaking of, I should ask you off the air about this too.
Uh-oh.
Is the person who implied that we were coddling Mayor Tyler yesterday, are they joining us this morning?
Yes.
What time?
10 past 8.
That'll be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I won't tell you who it is now, but when I pre-promote an interview in the next segment, you'll know who it is I'm talking about now, and not telling you who I mean.
Okay.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, traffic update. Ruben's here for Thursday morning.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Our warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
of information. KEEL News now.
This cold weather has arrived, and it got into the 20s overnight across our region. Monroe yesterday got a little dusting of snow. It actually stayed on the ground. The snow is expected to arrive along the East Coast today. Some of the big cities could be seeing an inch or more. Ben Raymond named substitute police chief in Shreveport. He takes place of Alan Crump, who's going on medical leave until at least March 19th. We asked Mayor Ollie Tyler if she regrets hiring Alan Crump as chief.
You know, I won't say that I regret it. I think I made the right choice at the time. I think as time progressed and I had conversations with him, you know, a year into his appointment about some issues that I was seeing that I was not comfortable with. And, you know, he made a commitment to me that if I ever asked him to step down, that he would.
Chief Raymond's been on the force for 19 years and has spent time in narcotics, special response patrol, and at the academy. The mayor did tell me she does believe she stood behind Chief Crump for too long. Shreveport police have charged 2 juveniles in the fatal shooting of a pizza delivery driver earlier this month. 13-year-old Anthony Mandigo and a 16-year-old boy are accused of shooting Lester McGee multiple times while he was trying to deliver a pizza. The 16-year-old has been caught. Police still trying to track down Mandigo. Grand jury clears a police officer in the shooting. Matt Parker with that.
A Caddo Parish grand jury has ruled that Shreveport police officer Brad Sotak was justified when he shot and killed a suspect during a hostage situation. On September 16th, Jerry Foster was holding a woman hostage at gunpoint and firing his gun at officers. During the encounter, Sotak was able to shoot Foster and bring the confrontation to an end. After hearing testimony from numerous witnesses, the grand jury found no violation of the law. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
State Attorney General Jeff Landry says he will run for re-election rather than make a run for the governor's office. He's been taking a look at challenging John Bel Edwards for several months. The gross domestic product grew in Louisiana for the second quarter of the year, making it the 12th fastest economic growth in the nation and third among the 12 states in the southeast region. Economist Lauren Scott says our state's percentage rate of growth just barely outpaces the national average.
The national average was 4.2. We were 4.3. But if you look at the reason for this, it's from the really high-valued areas of construction and non-durable goods manufacturing.
Scott says the news creates optimism for the state, even in the oil patch, where recent years have not been kind to the industry. The wildfires continue raging in California, the death toll now closing in on 60, more than 130 people still missing. Honesty is said to be its own reward, but a Romanian man did get a monetary reward for returning the $107,000 he found inside a second-hand cupboard he bought. They're not saying how much money he was given. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app is a free download presented by Office Furniture Source.
We're going to have to get to this quickly in a minute.
You want to start it now?
We can, yeah.
Let's make a formatting decision. Do you want to start?
We really should, because it's long.
Or do we want to take a Yeah, you're probably right. Parky, I have not heard the first part, and it was yesterday, so I don't remember. How did the Mayor Ali interview begin? Who obviously I asked the first question. Oh, I remember now. So we got the mayor on the phone, and I said, "Holy cow, lots going on at the police department." So actually, Miss Ali, how did that break down? You got an email, you got a phone call from Chief Crump. What exactly was the sequence of events?
Well, let me tell you, it started last Friday when I was called by media to ask if Chief Crump was retiring. And, of course, Chief Crump and I had spoken prior to that, on several occasions, actually. And so when I got the call, I was told that he was retiring, and he had told his command staff. They have, command staff meeting every Friday. And so I called him because he still had not spoken to me. He had spoken to a staff member and said to him that he was retiring. But I had not received anything in writing from Chief Crump. And so I called him and asked him what was happening and to tell me what he was doing. And he told me at that time he decided to retire, November 15th. So I said to him, "Okay, Chief Crump, please submit me something in writing." And so he told me that he would. He did not on Friday. So on Monday, I still had not received anything on my desk. As you know, I get to work at 7 or before every day. So when I came in, I said, well, maybe about 8 o'clock, he'll submit something. Or 9 o'clock when we have our staff meeting. I still didn't receive anything from him. He didn't come to staff meeting. So after staff meeting, I called him again and asked him where was the documentation. And he said, well, I'll send you something. I said, well, Chief Crump, I really need to have something in writing. So he sent me a text message, probably about 3 minutes until 3. I have copies of the text message that he sent me, telling me that he decided not to retire, that he had gone to his doctor, and his doctor had placed him on medical leave.
What can you tell us about that? What specific ailment? I know there's lots of like HIPAA rules and stuff like that. What do you know about that?
Well, I can't talk about it. It is a confidential statement from his doctor, and because of the HIPAA rules, I can't tell you what his medical issue is. Now, he can tell you if you can contact him.
Long-term medical leave, did it sound like?
Well, they have to put in place a length of time because I asked them that. I'm talking several months into next year. And so, I had major concerns about that because the man did not tell me the truth. He did not tell his command staff the truth. And so at that point, I was able to say to him, I need a doctor's statement.
Excuse me, Miss.
At that time, I didn't have a doctor's statement.
Pardon me, Miss Ali. Pardon me just a second. When you say he did not tell me the truth, what I'm inferring from what you're saying is that when he told you he was going to retire, he already thought or already knew he was going to take medical leave. Is that what you think?
Well, I don't know that. And, Robert, I try not to guess about anybody's motive, I really thought he was retiring.
Well, pardon me, when you said he didn't tell me the truth, what exactly what do you mean?
I mean that he told me he was retiring, and then on Tuesday, he told me he wasn't retiring. That was not the truth on Friday.
Perhaps he went to the doctor in the interim and realized he could take medical leave for whatever his condition is. Maybe that happened between those things. Could that be the case?
That could be the case. Actually, that's what he told me.
Okay.
Okay.
Could this medical leave last until July where he would hit his 3-year retirement where he could retire on full chief pay?
Well, Erin, I guess it could, but I can't speculate that. He has to submit doctor statements, each time that the period of time, of course, that's on the first document. On the first document from the doctor that I received yesterday, it said through March 19th, 2019. And so I have to go on that.
Can a mayor fire someone who's on medical leave?
No, ma'am. I couldn't fire him. He's civil service protected, and I think you all may have heard me say that. I've had, some concerns for the past year, but he is civil service protected. But I can ask him to step down, and if he refuses to do that, then I have to, do what I need to do to try to ensure that the public has confidence, that I have confidence in him as a leader, and that our city is being protected. And sometimes that could get, pretty challenging. But, no, I can't fire him on medical leave. I can't fire him even if he's not on medical leave, but I can ask him to step down. Now, on medical leave, one wouldn't ask him to step down anyway.
Right.
But I do have the authority to appoint a substitute police chief who has the same authority and the same rights as any police chief, and that's what I've done.
And that's Chief Administrative Assistant Ben Raymond, who's been with the force 19 years, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
You and I, we know. I mean, the elephant in the room is that we have a mayor's race going on. You and Mr. Perkins are in the runoff. What is your mission? What is your directive to Chief Raymond in terms of running the department with this election looming?
Well, let me tell you, I'm not really concerned about the election that much, Erin. I didn't take on this position of service, and I'm saying this position of service because I believe that's what it is, to play politics. I didn't take it on for that. I took it on to try to help make my city better instead of sitting home complaining about it. I spoke with Chief Raymond at length yesterday afternoon because I looked back at the track record of those people who really applied for the police chief, on our first search in 2016, and his name popped up as one that was very, very, he had a great interview anyway.
Miss Ollie, pardon me, was he the first one you asked?
He is. I talked with Bill Gooden, of course, because he was the deputy chief, and I talked with him about whether or not he had any interest, but I did say to him that I was looking at someone else. We are very honest, and we're very straight up with each other. And so in talking with Bill Gooden, because he is a great police officer and great deputy, I wanted to get his feelings about, the appointment that I was going to make with Ben Raymond. And, Bill was very honest with me. And he would do anything I asked him. But when Ben Raymond's name came up and he brought it up, I said to him, I believe that Ben Raymond is well respected by the department. I've gotten to know him in his role. He oversees a $50 million budget for the police department in his role. He came up through the ranks, and, I had an opportunity to check on his background when he applied the first time for chief. He's worked in every division of the police department, from patrol all the way up. People over there respect him. All of the co-workers, I respect him as a leader. And so, Chief Gooden feels really good about Ben Raymond. So I had those discussions.
Mayor, and I don't know that you'll answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Sure.
And I hate to even ask it, but I'm going to do it.
Sure.
Did you stand behind Alan Crump too long?
I think I did. I'm honest about that, and I take ownership on that. Yes, ma'am.
Explain why you say that.
I tried to give him a chance.
Wish you hadn't? Wish you'd moved on earlier?
Well, let me say this to you, Erin. I don't do anything to hurt anybody. I've been bashed a lot, but you've never heard me bashing or pointing fingers at anybody. I try my very best because of who I am and my faith in God. I try not to hurt anybody. Okay? And let me say that first. At the time when I appointed Chief Crump, we had a lot of things happening around the country with police officers shooting citizens. And I know you all remember that time.
You bet.
And, we had Baton Rouge, Dallas, Baltimore, Florida. We had police riots and police and citizens, confrontations and shootings in several cities around our nation. I tried to appoint someone I thought could keep a lid on that in Shreveport. We had several citizens, one or two citizens, I'll say one or two, because that was what we had, coming before our council, doing council meetings, saying we're going to have the same thing in Shreveport. Our police department is going to abuse our citizens. I appointed somebody I thought that could keep a lid on that at the time. And he did, I believe. I think his leadership, helped us with that situation, and we didn't have that here in Shreveport. And so that was the reason, I looked at his record. I knew a little bit about him when he worked at Fair Park with young people there, and looked at his record of, his calm demeanor, but yet firm. And so I think at the time when I appointed him, I was looking for somebody who could actually help us try to ensure that we didn't have the kind of situations we were having across the country with police and citizens. So, I won't say that I regret it. I think I made the right choice at the time. I think as time progressed and I had conversations with him, a year into his appointment about some issues that I was seeing that I was not comfortable with. And, he made a commitment to me that if I ever asked him to step down, that he would.
Ms. Ollie, just to clear it up once and for all as our last question, the resignation, now the medical leave of Chief Crump, this is all of his doing. You in no way urged him or nudged him in that direction?
For the medical?
As far as what you thought was the resignation and pending retirement?
No, sir. And I've never lied to anybody. That was a shock to me. I came out Friday, and I want you all to think about this because, what I've learned since I've been elected as an elected official, politics are really, really ugly, and people will make up things. I'm not going to do that because that's not who I am. I had no idea that he was going to tell me one thing on Friday and submit something in writing to me differently from what he told me. Okay?
And you didn't ask him to you didn't ask him to go and retire. This was his motivation to retire from jump, not your saying, "Could you go on and move out now?"
Well, Erin, I've had those conversations with him for the past year. Not about retirement, not about resigning, but I saw him struggling with his leadership role. I saw him struggling with public confidence. I was struggling with having confidence, even though I still will say one man doesn't determine the spike in crime. We got a real community-wide problem there, like other cities our size. But leadership is very crucial to strategizing, to having confidence, to making sure that we are moving in a direction where people know that we are taking care of our business. I won't get into a lot of the things I've been talking to him about over the past year because it is personnel issues.
Gotcha.
And so I'm not going to do that. But when he talked to me last week, after the results came out, he asked one of the staff members, and I'm not going to call names because I don't like to put my staff in anything. I think that's not the right thing to do. And that staff member told me, he said, "What happened? Do you think I'm the reason for that?"
Ah.
Okay.
Interesting.
The staff member told him what he thought. And that's when he said, I'll need to go home and talk to my family. And he came back and told that staff member, "I'm going to retire. It's affecting my family."
Gotcha.
And so he hadn't told me that.
Right.
I was not going to take somebody's word for it. So I picked up the phone and called him.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 651. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Our warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Kiera Anthony scored a school record 50 points Wednesday night in the Thomas Assembly Center to lead the Lady Texters to a 100-88 overtime win over Houston. The senior from New Iberia broke Sheila Etheridge's mark of 47 points that set the standard in the 1990-91 season. Anthony and her teammates struggled in the first two quarters as Tech trailed 46-36, and she only had 6 points at the break. She added 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth, and Kiera Anthony scored 13 of the Texters' 20 in the extra frame to put away the Cougars. Speaking of Lady Texters, they added one to their mix for next season when Cedar Creek's Anna Laura Roberson signed on the dotted line. Loyola girls hoopster Chelsea Johnson joined the Texas State squad. Airline catcher Hayden Travinsky signed his letter of intent with LSU baseball on Wednesday to headline a bevy of local signees in hoops, track, softball, and baseball, according to the Shreveport Times. Benton's Cole Horton signed with Northwestern State, and Turner Toms inked with Nichols. Parkway Panther Eric Brown with Coastal Carolina. In track and field, Captain Shreve standouts Kennedy Hurd and Kennedy Gerard signed with Prairie View and UL Monroe, respectively. The NFL week kicks off tonight with a couple of teams desperate for a win. Green Bay visits Seattle tonight in the NFL. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Don't forget Your Money Now on Fox, brought to us every hour by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. When I was in like sixth grade in Birmingham, Alabama.
Nice town.
There was a kid in our class named Mike Billingsley. And I've never played organized football. They tackle and there's big guys and they're trying to like knock you down. We got to go. Oh man, I was Oh, I don't have time for this now?
No.
This is an awesome story. I promise I'll get to it just after 7 o'clock. Here's Rush on KEEL.
The Me Too movement began with the public shaming of Hollywood mogul and top Democrat donor Harvey Weinstein. Nobody could predict the societal impact. So researchers from the University of Colorado wanted to see how attitudes have changed since Me Too took off. Among the answers they got was this: women who collapse with a heart attack or some other medical issue may be left to fend for themselves. Men are now afraid to give women CPR lest they be accused of sexual assault. Not kidding. Men said that they'd be fearful of being charged with inappropriate touching or sexual assault, so they will not administer CPR to a woman in dire circumstances. The study's lead author, Sarah Perman, is clearly astounded. She says that while these fears are real, it's important to realize that giving CPR is a life-saving act and that gender shouldn't matter. Well, yeah, me too. I mean, I totally agree these fears shouldn't matter to men in theory, but Miss Perman, real life isn't theory, is it? And there's a bunch of weirdo nutcases out there just waiting to make that allegation. I don't blame these men at all, not with the situation that the militant feminazis have created out there. You live with it, you die with it. No CPR. Tough it out.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
just after 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Down yonder, it's going to be 55 today.
Well, it was cold last night.
It's 29 now. It's a little chilly. The warm-looking Erin McCarty has... Yeah, I know.
I'm warm every which way.
Has local news up next.
We'll talk about the cold and what is needed locally. The mayor says she did lose faith in Chief Alan Crump. We'll have more on that. And 2 teenagers charged with murder. 1 is caught, 1 still on the run.
Sort of a big deal in the governor's race, or at least who might and or might not run. We'll talk about that first. And Fletcher in sports, plus traffic and weather. It's coming up this hour right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Cold weather grips the region overnight as temps dip into the 20s. Now, we will climb to about 55 later today. Tonight, we'll be into the 30s, but not below freezing. Local shelters have been filling up. They do need help with supplies like blankets, coats, and socks. Shreveport Mayor Ollie Tyler telling KEEL News she stood behind Police Chief Alan Crump too long. She says she was losing confidence in the chief's ability to do the job.
I saw him struggling with his leadership role. I saw him struggling with public confidence. I was struggling with having confidence.
Crump is going on medical leave until at least March. Ben Raymond has been named substitute chief. Shreveport police have charged 2 juveniles in the fatal shooting of a pizza delivery driver earlier this month. 13-year-old Anthony Mandigo and a 16-year-old boy are accused of shooting Lester McGee multiple times while he was delivering a pizza in Cedar Grove. The 16-year-olds have been taken into custody. Police still trying to track down Mandigo. A Caddo grand jury's ruled the Shreveport police officer Brad Sotak was justified when he shot and killed a suspect during a hostage situation. On September 16th, Jerry Foster was holding a woman hostage at gunpoint and firing his gun at police. During that encounter, Sotak was able to shoot Foster and bring the confrontation to an end. After hearing testimony from numerous witnesses, the grand jury found no violation of the law. A child's been arrested for making violent threats. Matt Parker with that.
A middle school student in East Texas was arrested after making threats to harm students. The child, a student at Carthage Junior High School, is accused of making violent threats towards their classmates. Police arrested the juvenile after officers received cell phone evidence linking the student to the threats. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Attorney General Jeff Landry announcing he's running for re-election after thinking about running for governor in the late summer. Political analyst Clancy DuBose says other Republicans, including Senator John Kennedy, are looking at the governor's race, and DuBose says less competition will help their chances.
It makes it easier for Republicans to narrow their choices and potentially at least coalesce behind one candidate. But there are still several other Republican names mentioned out there.
Landry has sparred with Governor Edwards since the two came into statewide posts back in 2016, and DuBose says Landry's decision means that fight likely won't be ending anytime soon. Many of the missing in the deadly Northern California wildfires are elderly residents in Magalia, a forested town of about 11,000 north of the destroyed town of Paradise. More than 450 people have been assigned to comb through charred remains in search of the 130 people still unaccounted for. Already at least 56 people confirmed dead. A woman may end up a convict over a condiment. Police in Santa Ana, California, trying to find a woman who wanted ketchup in the worst way. She went about getting some in the worst way, too. Police say the woman who was in the drive-thru entered the restaurant through the employee door and asked for ketchup. When the manager told her she wasn't allowed inside, video released by police shows the woman attacking the manager and then running off. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, 9 past 7 o'clock, time for traffic, and Ruben is ready.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Spring Street near East Stoner Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. We are waiting for Louisiana State Attorney General Jeff Landry to call. What did he say about quarter past?
Yeah, he's going to try to get us as a quarter past. He's doing some other interviews, so he's trying to scoot out of those and move on.
So here's the deal. And I started this story in at the end of the 6 o'clock hour. Okay, so middle school begins in 6th grade, like what used to be called junior high.
Yes.
And it was the first time he's going to call in 1 minute.
Yes, so wrap it up.
That's awesome. I don't have time for the story. Well, I kind of do. It was the first time there was really full contact, real honest to goodness football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were two kids in my 6th grade class. One was named Mark Noser and one was named Freddie Nelson. And they were going to there was no doubt they were going to go out for quarterback on the football team.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, there was this kid named Mike Billingsley. And Mike, well, hold on. I'll tell this story later. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry is here. Hey, Mr. Jeff, thank you for taking time for us on such short notice. How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you? A little chilly, though.
Yeah. We are so flattered, and thank you so much. Let me say that again. Okay, so the decision is made. The decision is final. You're running for re-election. The governor's thing is off the table, right?
That's correct.
Why'd you make that choice?
Look, I am extremely concerned about the rise in crime that is going on not only around the country but in Louisiana. We have worked extremely hard to build alliances and basically a team to work with local, state, and federal law enforcement offices. And as we went back and forth, I just believe that I'm best suited to serve the people of Louisiana, and hopefully, in asking them to give me another opportunity to serve them as the Attorney General.
Was it a difficult decision? Was it something that like you really had to mull over? Was it a tortuous choice, or was it pretty easy for you in the end?
It was. I mean, look, certainly during the summer months, I struggle with the fact that I do believe we need new leadership in the governor's office. I believe that Louisiana is not benefiting from the Trump bump like it should, and that is because at the federal level they lowered taxes. At the state level, we raised taxes. I believe we need to go back to the conservative values that many Louisianans appreciate. And so I went back and forth. But once some people who I believe have the resources necessary to run for governor entered the race, and as I looked at where I believe I could best fill the leadership role, I thought, I'll take another opportunity to ask the people to reelect me as the Attorney General. I've got a commitment to the great men and women who work at the Department of Justice. We built a tremendous staff, and I think we've done a lot of good things.
There's a piece written today that says Landry has sparred with Governor Edwards since the two came into statewide positions in 2016, and Landry's decision means that fight likely won't be ending anytime soon. You guys, another 4 years of sparring, or you hope he's gone?
Well, I mean, that's going to be up to the people of the state of Louisiana. Here's the thing, Erin. A lot of people in the media, I think speculated that every time I did something, it was because I wanted to run for governor or for political reasons. That is never the case with Jeff Landry. It's always about the people, not the politics. I'm a very fundamental, ideologically bent person. I believe that what makes America great is our freedom and our liberties and limited government. I believe that government has a role, but it's a limited one. And so that's where the governor and I have had our differences. And I think one of the things I'm proud of, and I can't wait to go on the road and share some of the great statistics and things that we did and have done over the past 3 years with the people of Louisiana, is basically done that. We have a constitution that also is limited and basically places power in the hands of a number of statewide elected officials. And over the years, the governor's office, irrespective of who was in what party held the mansion, usurped that particular power, and I think that's wrong. Here's the case I'll make, Erin. In the 1950s, New Orleans, Houston, and Atlanta were all the same size. What's wrong with that picture today?
Yeah, got a point.
Mr. Yeah. Jeff, I saw no fewer than 3 articles last weekend, and all 3 of them listed the top 10 potential choices to replace Jeff Sessions as Attorney General. And I'm not joking with you. Now, you've probably seen them or at least heard about them. You're listed on all 3, if nothing else. That's got to be flattering as hell, right?
It is. It's a big compliment. That decision is going to be made at the White House. I've seen those articles. I've heard the rumblings. I've had the pleasure of being able to visit with the president in the Oval Office. I've been out to the White House. We've worked close with this administration because I believe that the things that the president is doing from a policy perspective are productive for the country. Again, you're right. It's flattering. It's certainly, to me, it speaks volumes for the job that we're doing here in Louisiana.
Do you think Jeff Landry's actually being vetted right now?
I couldn't tell you. That's a question you'd have to call the White House and ask them.
Jeff, and we're talking to Jeff Landry, Louisiana Attorney General, who says he's going to run for re-election, not running for governor. New audit this week. Medicaid fraud cost Louisiana as much as $85 million. Senator Kennedy is calling for Rebecca Gee to resign. Does this audit surprise you? That's a lot of money. And what can your office, what can our state do about this to stop it?
Look, I have been crowing about this issue since day one, in that the Medicaid budget and the way we're spending money inside of that Medicaid program is completely out of control. That audit in no way shocks me, but it's nice, and I appreciate the legislative auditor doing that report and exposing the truth, because, again, I think it helps to highlight for Louisianians out there why exactly our roads are broken, our schools are failing, we don't have money to do the necessary things that government really does, and that's because the Medicaid budget is soaking up those dollars, and really, at the end of the day, the outcome is not any better.
Should Rebecca Gee step down? Do you agree with Senator Kennedy?
Look, I believe that whole administration should step down. Because, again, when you look at the waste, fraud, and abuse, and, of course, the governor loves to get up there, bang on the table, and talk about all the people he's covering and all of the great things that he's doing. But when you drill down to it, when you get on the ground, exactly what is the particular outcome that we're paying for, and is the money that Louisianians are pouring out of their pocket worth the program that's being implemented?
Jeff Landry, Louisiana Attorney General, thanks for joining us on such short notice, and happy Thanksgiving.
Take care. Hope to see y'all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Jeff.
happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
See you soon, we hope. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.107 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Kiera Anthony scored a school record 50 points Wednesday night in the Thomas Assembly Center to lead the Lady Texters to a 100-88 overtime win over Houston. The senior from New Iberia broke Sheila Etheridge's mark of 47 points that set the standard in the 1990-91 season. Anthony and her teammates struggled in the first two quarters as Tech trailed 46-36, and she only had 6 points at the break. She added 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth, and Kiera Anthony scored 13 of the Texters' 20 in the extra frame to put away the Cougars. Speaking of Lady Texters, they added one to their mix for next season when Cedar Creek's Anna Laura Roberson signed on the dotted line. Loyola girls hoopster Chelsea Johnson joined the Texas State squad. Airline catcher Hayden Travinsky signed his letter of intent with LSU baseball on Wednesday to headline a bevy of local signees in hoops, track, softball, and baseball, according to the Shreveport Times. Benton's Cole Horton signed with Northwestern State, and Turner Toms inked with Nichols. Parkway Panther Eric Brown with Coastal Carolina. In track and field, Captain Shreve standouts Kennedy Hurd, Kennedy Gerard signed with Prairie View and UL Monroe, respectively. The NFL week kicks off tonight with a couple of teams desperate for a win. Green Bay visits Seattle tonight in the NFL. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Hang on a second. I need to finish the story.
Oh, you do? Yes.
Okay, so it's in 6th grade, and it's the first time we're ever going to play like real, wear helmets and pads and football shoes football.
Bump into each other.
In 6th grade. And there were 2 kids in my 6th grade class. There's Freddie Nelson and there's Mark Noser. And they're talking about, because they were always the ones they could always, the point is they wanted to be quarterback.
You bet.
But then there was this kid named Mike Billingsley. And everybody knew that if Mike Billingsley went out for football, he was going to be the quarterback.
Sure.
Because he was head and shoulders at the age of 12 above everybody else.
Much better athlete.
But he just didn't know whether, he had one of those moms who was overprotective, and I don't know if my mom's going to let me play because, there's tackling and she's worried about me getting hurt. But the point is, everybody knew. Mark Noser knew, Freddie Nelson knew that if Mike Billingsley wanted to be the quarterback, he was going to be the quarterback of the football team.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the governor's race on the Republican side.
Yes.
Right now, what you're seeing is everybody is getting out of the way for John Kennedy.
Yeah.
Is that unfair?
It's not unfair. December 1st, he's expected to make his announcement. He's been dipping his toe a lot in state politics. Now he's calling for the resignation of Rebecca Gee, state health secretary, over this Medicaid fraud thing. He's keeping an eye on all the audits that are happening. He's watching all the budget talks.
But you agree with my theory that whatever polls there are to be seen, whatever conversations there are to be had by not only the candidates themselves, between themselves, I would assume, but by Republican Party bigwigs, etc. And the money people are saying, it's John Kennedy is the Mike Billingsley of Louisiana.
And, I rub my hands together for that race. Because you thought David Vitter, John Bel Edwards, was nasty. You just wait until Kennedy and the Republicans and John Bel clash. Because it will be so dirty. They will take that.
You really think so?
Oh, yeah.
But what has... But Mr. John is, if nothing else, the best in the world at telling you that you're basically barnyard detritus with a smile on his face as though Denver Pyle from Dukes of Hazzard were talking to you.
Yeah, but you have both Johns, and they both can do that. And you're going to hear...
No, pardon me.
Yeah.
I don't mean to disagree vehemently, but I disagree vehemently. There is nothing dainty or there is nothing homespun, or there is nothing gentle about John Bel Edwards in his legislative style.
John Bell's got
a hammer, man.
John Bell's got this. I'm a good guy. I'm a West Point. I'm an Army Ranger guy.
What was the name of the book you gave me?
Which one?
Long
Make
Shot.
Your Bed? Oh,
Long Shot.
Yeah.
About the Edwards, about all...
Oh, if you read that book, you know how dirty he is.
About all the pieces falling into place.
Yes.
And how everything, the stars had to align almost 4 years ago for John Bell to be governor. And there's one part in there that mentions now Congressman Mike Johnson. In 20 seconds, tell people what that story is.
Well, he and Mike were having a phone conversation. I'm not sure what the topic was, but John Bell cussed him out and hung up the phone on him. He cussed him out and hung up the phone. And Mike's told the story before. And that's not the only one that's happened. But can you see the TV commercials that have John Bell saying, "No more LSU football"? I mean, can you see all that stuff coming back to bite him on the
What I see is if that's the ad they come out with, it's his own words. It's not. I don't see that as being a nasty commercial at all.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It will be fun.
It's going to be a blast.
28 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, traffic and weather. Let's do it right now. Traffic and weather update. Just ahead of Erin's local news, here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Midway Avenue near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Olmenden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Our warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
Clarksdale Highway in Shreve City.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
This cold weather has arrived, and it got into the 20s overnight across our region. Monroe yesterday got a little dusting of snow. It actually stayed on the ground. The snow is expected to arrive along the East Coast today. Some of the big cities could be seeing an inch or more. Ben Raymond named substitute police chief in Shreveport. He takes place of Alan Crump, who's going on medical leave until at least March 19th. We asked Mayor Ollie Tyler if she regrets hiring Alan Crump as chief.
You know, I won't say that I regret it. I think I made the right choice at the time. I think as time progressed and I had conversations with him, you know, a year into his appointment about some issues that I was seeing that I was not comfortable with. And, you know, he made a commitment to me that if I ever asked him to step down, that he would.
Chief Raymond's been on the force for 19 years and has spent time in narcotics, special response patrol, and at the academy. The mayor did tell me she does believe she stood behind Chief Crump for too long. Shreveport police have charged 2 juveniles in the fatal shooting of a pizza delivery driver earlier this month. 13-year-old Anthony Mandigo and a 16-year-old boy are accused of shooting Lester McGee multiple times while he was trying to deliver a pizza. The 16-year-old has been caught. Police still trying to track down Mandigo. Grand jury clears a police officer in the shooting. Matt Parker with that.
A Caddo Parish grand jury has ruled that Shreveport police officer Brad Sotak was justified when he shot and killed a suspect during a hostage situation. On September 16th, Jerry Foster was holding a woman hostage at gunpoint and firing his gun at officers. During the encounter, Sotak was able to shoot Foster and bring the confrontation to an end. After hearing testimony from numerous witnesses, the grand jury found no violation of the law. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
State Attorney General Jeff Landry says he will run for re-election rather than make a run for the governor's office. He's been taking a look at challenging John Bel Edwards for several months. The gross domestic product grew in Louisiana for the second quarter of the year, making it the 12th fastest economic growth in the nation and third among the 12 states in the southeast region. Economist Lauren Scott says our state's percentage rate of growth just barely outpaces the national average.
The national average was 4.2. We were 4.3. But if you look at the reason for this, it's from the really high-valued areas of construction and non-durable goods manufacturing.
Scott says the news creates optimism for the state, even in the oil patch, where recent years have not been kind to the industry. The wildfires continue raging in California, the death toll now closing in on 60, more than 130 people still missing. Honesty is said to be its own reward, but a Romanian man did get a monetary reward for returning the $107,000 he found inside a second-hand cupboard he bought. They're not saying how much money he was given. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm going to read you something here. 101.7 FM. This is one of those I should have, and it just popped into my head. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. If Matt.
Yes.
I just want to, this is one of those I want to show Matt before I read it to you.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that way Matt will know it's coming.
Okay.
And he will get such joy out of your reaction.
Yeah.
Come around here.
Hold on. I'm focusing for what
Okay.
I'm about to say. Hold
Come
on.
around
I'm
here.
kind of scared about what you guys are about to do.
Well,
a
I
little
want
worrying
you to-
me a little bit.
I don't even want to give you a hint, so I'm not even going to mention
no,
it.
I don't
want you
even.
to read that. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Read that.
This
to
is
yourself. Shh.
This is not going to be good, is
It's
it?
going to be awesome.
Is it?
Ha!
Oh,
Okay.
no.
When was, and I am asking both you and the listeners, feel free to respond in unison if you are so inclined.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you literally on the radio lost control of your emotions? That you just kind of went,
Oh.
and just came unglued?
A few days ago.
No, well, then that went really unglued. The emotional walls came, to quote the great philosopher Mellencamp, tumbling down.
I'm not sure, really.
It was when the lottery winner
Oh, yeah.
was
yeah.
from, where was it, Eunice?
Eunice.
And you said Eunice poops nails.
Right. Eunice sucks.
Or something like that.
Not even going to stop to pee there.
And you stopped, and I mean, you sat in this studio and tears came into your eyes.
I was crying.
You were so angry
I hated that town.
and disillusioned.
Still hate that town.
I'm going to read this to you.
Okay.
Do you think we need to get her a little Kleenex first before?
I don't know what her reaction to this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be tears of joy, anger, or disappointment.
Oh, God, please don't do what I think you're going to do.
What? What do you think I'm going to do?
Oh, no.
What do you think I'm going to do? What do you, if you had to guess? Because you'll never guess.
There's $1 million ticket bought here or something like that?
Not exactly.
Oh, man.
Lottery officials in South Carolina said Tuesday that the winner of the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot has still not stepped forward.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Even though the drawing was nearly a month ago.
Oh, my goodness. Did they lose the tickets?
Don't look at me. What do I look like? The Oracle at Delphi?
Oh, my
I have
gosh.
no idea. Gene Dixon down here? I couldn't begin to tell
Please tell me they're meeting with financial people and lawyers and didn't lose the tickets.
you. I have no idea.
Oh, my gosh.
If you were sitting on $1.5 billion ticket,
man.
wouldn't you immediately identify yourself and then make plans just because if you...
I would identify myself to the folks on Mars.
I would be afraid, well, I'm going to wait a month and get all my ducks in a row. I would be afraid in that month that the house might burn down or I just might lose the ticket or something horrible
Oh,
would
the
happen.
ticket's going in a safe place.
That's what I
immediately.
mean.
Yeah. Glued to my body or something. I don't know.
That's hardly a safe place.
Yeah, you got a point.
I'd almost guarantee, I'd make a bet that the winner of this $1 billion is a dude. Because anytime, I don't buy lottery or Powerball tickets that often, but when I do,
Yeah.
I kind of just throw them in the visor of my truck. And then, I'll open up the visor when it's sunny or something, and it'll come fall out, and I'm like, oh, I should check these.
Either that or whoever the winner is,
They're getting their ducks in a row.
or on a 28-day drunk.
That could be it, too.
739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Bradley Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Our warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Police Union Boss Michael Carter, talking on the police chief stuff, joins us just past 8 o'clock. Okay, so yesterday, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the sharing of our Keel posts from the website. And yesterday I mentioned one that had been shared by former Mayor Cedric Glover. And it was the post containing the interview with, was it Monday's or Tuesday's chat with Caddo Parish Sheriff Steve Prater. And the headline was, Sheriff Prater scoffs at rumors of a political deal. And basically, in about 30 seconds, bring everybody up to date on what that, because you were the one that got the text. Let me rephrase. The texts.
Multiple, yes.
From a whole, it was the same one, but from a whole bunch of political folks.
It was like somebody copied and pasted the same text and sent it from different people sent it to me.
What did it say? What did it
said
speculate?
That Sheriff Prater and Mayor Tyler were in discussions for an endorsement, that Sheriff Prater would endorse her in the mayor's race. In exchange, he would name the next police chief.
And that was basically you had talked to him off the air about that over the weekend, and he said, "Oh, what a load of BS."
That's BS.
What did he say on the air? I'm not a political whore.
Right.
My endorsement is not for sale. And the headline was, of our interview, Prater scoffs at rumors of a political deal. And then former Mayor Cedric Glover had shared on his FB page that post, that story, that interview with the following comment. Conservatives are already picking Shreveport's next mayor. What makes anybody think they won't also be picking the next police chief? And I ask you, is he saying that Prater's that he's lying? Is he saying that that's just a lot, that whatever Prater told us is just not true?
I think he's saying that there will be influence. And the sheriff did admit in our interview, if he's asked, he'll be glad to give some names of people he think would be qualified.
What makes, quoting Glover once again, what makes anyone think they, meaning conservatives, won't be picking the next police chief? Do you really believe that? Well, look, I said we talked about this yesterday, and there's another share of another Keel post by former Mayor Glover on his page, and we'll get to that in a couple of seconds. But what I had said last week, after the general election, you've got Adrian first, you've got Ali second,
right? Third
and fourth are Republicans.
Right.
How many of those do you think are, bluntly speaking, white folks?
A lot.
Almost
large percentage.
All of them. So when Glover says, when I said last week, no small irony, that given the complaints forever by white voters, our votes don't count. We're the minority in a black majority town, etc. I'm saying, well, okay, right now, you get to pick the next mayor. The irony is, it's going to be a black man or woman.
Right.
Okay? What I said was that white voters will pick the next mayor because that is who the two candidates have to court. That's the biggest block of voters in the runoff in December.
Right.
I said, that's the white guys. Cedric saying, it's the conservatives. Aren't we talking about the same group? So, yesterday, Cedric shares another story, and it's the one that I wrote about 10 days ago. Did GOP voters put Adrian Perkins over the top? What did you and I talk about? God, we talked about this. What did you and I talk about, rather, a million times? The number of conservative Republican voters, the number of conservative Republican folks that you and I both know who said, voting for Adrian.
Yes. Talked to a bunch.
Who bypassed the traditional Republican vote, in this case, Talaferro and or Savage.
And they did so because they didn't think either of them could win.
Because they said, almost to the man and woman, wanted to vote for somebody who had a chance to win. So Cedric shares the post. Did GOP votes put Adrian Perkins over the top? My story.
Yeah.
And listen to his comment. This is awesome. Who are Trump supporters? Follow me now. Who is Cedric talking? Who are Trump supporters voting to be the next mayor of Shreveport. Why are you voting for the same person? In other words, he's telling people, Cedric telling people who are undecided, Trump voters are going to back Adrian. You don't want to be like them, do you?
Oh.
Is he literally here telling people to vote for Ollie? Cedric's words. My headline, did GOP votes put Adrian Perkins over the top? Cedric's comment.
Interesting.
Who are Trump supporters voting to be the next mayor of Shreveport?
So is he endorsing Mayor Tyler?
Why are you voting for the same person? If one assumes, and I don't think it's a big logical leap.
Yeah. Would you want his endorsement if you were Mayor Tyler?
What Cedric literally is saying is Trump people are probably going to vote for Adrian. If you hate Trump, how could you even think about voting for Perkins? Isn't that exactly what he's saying?
That sure sounds like it.
Isn't that precisely the point he's making?
It sure sounds like it.
Those Trump voters, those racists, those bigots, those nationalists, those Nazis.
How could you be like them?
749, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at West 70th Street and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's your Weather Channel forecast. Kinda sunny today and warmer. Why? Middle 50s. It's not snow on the ground, it's frost. Don't panic. Right now, 31 degrees. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Your Money Now brought to us by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. .17 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Kiera Anthony scored a school record 50 points Wednesday night in the Thomas Assembly Center to lead the Lady Texters to a 100-88 overtime win over Houston. The senior from New Iberia broke Sheila Etheridge's mark of 47 points that set the standard in the 1990-91 season. Anthony and her teammates struggled in the first two quarters as Tech trailed 46-36, and she only had 6 points at the break. She added 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth, and Kiera Anthony scored 13 of the Texters' 20 in the extra frame to put away the Cougars. Speaking of Lady Texters, they added one to their mix for next season when Cedar Creek's Anna Laura Roberson signed on the dotted line. Loyola girls hoopster Chelsea Johnson joined the Texas State squad. Airline catcher Hayden Travinsky signed his letter of intent with LSU baseball on Wednesday to headline a bevy of local signees in hoops, track, softball, and baseball, according to the Shreveport Times. Benton's Cole Horton signed with Northwestern State, and Turner Toms inked with Nichols. Parkway Panther Eric Brown with Coastal Carolina. In track and field, Captain Shreve standouts Kennedy Hurd, Kennedy Gerard signed with Prairie View and UL Monroe, respectively. The NFL week kicks off tonight with a couple of teams desperate for a win. Green Bay visits Seattle tonight in the NFL. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Boy, did I just turn up my headphones at the... Wow. And you know I run these daddies loud.
Yeah.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Yeah, I just plugged in the headphones, turned them up, and I got Martin Grau, Office Manager Choice. Ah!
I love that guy.
Yeah. Ooh,
Brain-eating amoebias.
Whew. I'll be okay in just... Give me a second to clear my head.
Yeah.
Coming up just past 8 o'clock. Okay, just past 8, we have police union boss Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say yesterday? You want to tell people what he said? I assume you're going to ask him about it.
Absolutely. Well, he thinks you can fire somebody who's on medical leave.
Talking about the current rift between Mayor Tyler and current. Well, he still is Chief Crump.
Mm-hmm.
But Miss Ollie said a couple of times, and we've read from a couple of folks, you just can't fire the chief.
Yeah.
You can, I guess, demote the chief. You can remove him from the position.
Right.
And I said that to somebody yesterday. You can't kick him off the police department, civil service, and other laws, right?
I can't imagine you could.
No.
But Michael seems to think you might can. You might have a way. I
or
don't know.
By firing, does he mean just, put him back at another desk at another position?
That could
I don't
be
know.
He has concerns about why we're paying 2 chiefs and a deputy chief. He believes the department has no direction. He's got a lot of questions and concerns. And what do you do under a substitute chief? Is he really going to be able to make any substantive changes? When you've got the election looming, is Mayor Tyler going to be mayor after the December 8th election? Or is this real temporary deal for Chief Raymond? I don't know.
And if you missed it wasn't really an interview, but a bunch of sound bites and info from substitute Chief Ben Raymond. If you missed those yesterday, we will have those once again. What does he think the direction of the SPD should be? 7:57, time for Sean Hannity.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Democrats, if they follow through on their stated agenda, they misinterpret the election results. Remember, Trump picked up 3 Senate seats here. Clinton lost 8, Obama lost 6. Clinton lost 52 House seats, and Obama lost 63. If they overreach, which I can guarantee you they're going to do, it will have a massive impact on 2020. But we'll see. The best thing they could do would be to work to make the country continue the economic growth, make the country better. Want to know why Bill Clinton got reelected? Because he worked with Newt Gingrich. Gingrich pressured him to follow his agenda, and the American people benefit.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
All right, 'tis the season for more, and that means more shopping online. That means more booking of travel. That means more using sketchy websites to find the perfect gift, and all that activity while using your devices. Well, it could expose more of your personal information. And by the way, if that information ends up in the hands of those cyber criminals, well, you could have a much bigger problem than an online store running out of the gift that you promised somebody. Now, good thing there's LifeLock with Norton Security. Well, they're going to help your holidays stay happy. LifeLock helps protect threats to your identity, like someone opening accounts in your name. Norton Security protects your devices against cyber threats like malware. And of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor every single transaction at every single business. Get LifeLock with Norton Security, and you're going to get the most comprehensive protection for your identity and your devices. Just go to LifeLock.com, promo code Hannity, get an extra 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with your annual enrollment. Terms apply.
Major accident on 3132 eastbound has traffic backed up from I-49 to Mansfield Road right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
1017 FM, 710 Keel Weather Channel forecast. Kind of sunny, a little warmer today if you call 55 warmer. Right now, 31 at Keel. It's 8 o'clock and time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, a little bit past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin. Erin, local news, getting ready right now.
Very cold weather has rolled through our area, but we will warm up today. Mayor Ollie Tyler says she stood by Police Chief Alan Crump too long. We'll have that, too. And a local police officer is cleared of any wrongdoing.
Let's see. In less than 15 minutes, we have police union boss Dr. Michael Carter talking about what's going on at the police department, at least in his mind. What does he see? What does he think the future is and or should be? Ben Raymond is the substitute chief, and we've got about 4 minutes of sound bites from him on his ideas for the SPD. We'll cover that too. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour. It's right here, and it's on KEEL.
KEEL News now.
Cold weather gripping much of the region, and it's headed for the East Coast, where they could see heavy snow in some of the nation's largest metro areas. Local shelters are filling up and in need of blankets and socks, things like that, for the winter. Mayor Ollie Tyler telling KEEL News she did lose faith in Police Chief Alan Crump, but stood by him. I asked if she stood behind Crump too long. Here's how she answered.
I think I did. I'm honest about that, and I take ownership on that.
Crump now on medical leave until at least March 19th. Ben Raymond has stepped in as substitute chief. A Caddo grand jury has ruled that Shreveport police officer Brad Sotak was justified when he shot and killed a suspect during a hostage situation. On September 16th, Jerry Foster was holding a woman hostage at gunpoint and firing at officers. During that encounter, Sotak was able to shoot Foster and bring the confrontation to an end. After hearing testimony from several witnesses, the grand jury found no violation of the law. 2 kids charged with murder. Matt Parker has that.
Shreveport police have charged 2 juveniles in the fatal shooting of a pizza delivery driver earlier this month. 13-year-old Anthony Mandigo and a 16-year-old boy are accused of shooting Lester McGee multiple times on West 68th Street while he attempted to deliver a pizza. The 16-year-old boy has been taken into custody. Police are still trying to track down Mandigo. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Another teen is in trouble. A middle school student in East Texas arrested after allegedly making threats to harm students. The child, a student at Carthage Junior High, accused of making violent threats toward classmates. Police arrested the teenager after officers got cell phone evidence linking the student to the threats. Attorney General Jeff Landry announcing he's running for re-election after dancing with the idea of running for governor. The former Republican congressman has served in the office since 2016. Political analyst Clancy DuBose about this announcement.
The more he flirted with a possible race for governor, the greater the possibility that someone else would consider running for attorney general.
Landry has sparred with Governor Edwards since the two came into statewide positions in 2016. The state GDP is up. Louisiana posted a 4.3% growth during the second quarter, making us 12th in the nation for growth. Many of the missing in the deadly Northern California wildfire are elderly residents in Magalia, a forested town of about 11,000 north of the destroyed town of Paradise. At least 56 people now confirmed dead. Congressman Steve Scalise will be House Minority Whip for the 116th Congress after winning in a unanimous vote. UL Lafayette political science professor Pearson Cross says as the current majority whip, it's a role Scalise is very familiar with.
He has shown that he knows how to navigate in the House. He's returning to authority. This time as the number 2 person in the Republican delegation.
Leadership vote for Speaker has not been held yet by the Democrats, but reports say current House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi is the favorite. Ford and Walmart teaming up to test a self-driving grocery delivery service. They're conducting the test in Miami-Dade County in Florida. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Thursday morning traffic for the 8 o'clock hour. Starting us off, here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a major accident on West 70th Street near Cottonwood Boulevard, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road, just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Shreveport Police Union boss, Sergeant Dr. Michael Carter. Hey, Mr. Mike, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Man, there's lots going on. Just start us off. I'll ask you, I'll fire the shotgun and just the big spread shot. What do you think? What's the status of the department right now?
Right now, this department needs some direction. We need to get focused on crime. We need to get focused on public safety. The politics need to cease. I know that there's a mayor's race going on, and right now that could be the farthest thing from the police officers' minds. We need to make Shreveport safer, and we need the public out there that's expecting us and depending on us to have that peace of mind. And right now, I don't think they have it.
When you say politics got to stop, politics got to end, do you think this is all the Crump thing with Mayor Tyler, everything that's going on? Do you see that as political? And what do you think the real story is?
Quit using the police department as a political tool. They're there to provide public safety for the citizens of Shreveport. Get focused on crime. Let us do our job. Give us the resources to do our job. We've been habitually underfunded for years, and we've been preaching this case, taking this case, posting videos. You can go to our Facebook webpage. You can see all the videos that we've done over the last several months, all the information we put out. We requested meetings, begged for meetings from this mayor. They've not been given, and now you get to the state of crisis you're in now, it shouldn't surprise anybody. The police have been begging the police administration and the mayor's administration to get some things done, and they simply have just sat back and not done it.
Okay, so let's narrow this down a little bit now. You said the police department has been used as a political tool in, say, the last week to 10 days. How has that happened?
No, it's been a lot more than the last week to 10 days. All right, you go back to the statement she made yesterday on your station, on your show, about why she chose Chief Crump, why she chose these things. That's not why you choose a chief. You choose a chief that's going to make Shreveport safer, somebody that's got the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities to go out and to make the community that they've served in for 20-plus years a safer place for all the citizens. You don't lose citizens that way. You don't lose businesses that way. They get connected to the public, and the public needs to be connected to their police department.
What did she say that was so offensive to you yesterday?
There was a couple of things there that bothered me. Number one, she said that you could not fire somebody on sick leave or terminate somebody's employment. That's simply not true. Civil service, and here's the most offensive thing. I'm tired of people outside of the system who have no knowledge, and that includes mayors, okay, going back in history plus this one. Civil service does not prevent you from terminating anybody or disciplining anybody. It simply requires you to follow a due process. That's all it does. That's like saying someone that murders an individual in the United States of America can never be put on trial. Well, if you follow his due process rights, certainly he can. If you violate those rights, then you're going to be ineffective and there's going to be an acquittal. It's no different in police and fire civil service. Simply follow the due process. What we've had is we've had an administration that was too arrogant to follow the laws, so they've been unsuccessful at civil service, and so they think now, well, you know, if I tried, I'd just fail. I couldn't do it. Do not blame your inability on the fact that it's not possible, because that's not true. I've seen Shreveport police officers terminated while on sick leave. It was done correctly, it was done appropriately, and they no longer work here.
You heard her say she'd lost faith in Chief Crump a while back. Are you disappointed that she didn't move on it then and now, so it looks way politically motivated now?
Well, I have no sympathy for it now. We've tried to communicate with her. We've tried to communicate with her staff, her city attorney, her CEO. We've met with her one time. She's refused meetings after that. Look, we represent over 500 sworn police officers who voluntarily pay association dues. So if you think that we don't have our finger on the pulse of what police officers feel and think, we're the vehicle for them. We're the voice for them if you let us in the door and let us talk to you. She and her administration has shut the Police Officers Association out of talking to Academy cadets for the last 2 Academy classes. You cannot get anywhere by turning your fight towards the police. And let me tell you where it's got us. It's got Shreveport in one of the most dangerous situations it's ever been in, because you spend all your time trying to discipline police officers instead of moving forward and trying to take control of the criminal element of the city.
Mr. Mike, who you got the bigger problem with, Mayor Tyler or Chief Crump?
It goes hand in hand. Everyone wants to try to separate the two. I was called a few months ago, and they said, how do we keep Ollie Tyler and get rid of Alan Crump? And I was like, that's a political question. I don't entertain those. That's between you and whoever. And when I hung up the phone, I thought, what a question. The mayor works as the appointing authority. The chief works simply at the discretion of the mayor. You only get a chief through a mayoral selection. That's it. Now, they take a test, which is basically insignificant. You make a 75, you're on the list. Everything comes down to who that mayor thinks they can work with, who they think is going to do the best job. And she kept Willie Shaw, but then she hired Alan Crump. So at any given point, if she felt a lack of confidence in him, she had every ounce of authority, every ounce of legitimate power to remove him and replace him, but she didn't.
Have you had discussions
in my opinion, that is an insult to the officers who have suffered through the last 2 or 3 years whenever she could have made a move based on her own inclination.
Have you had discussions with Adrian Perkins? I'm hearing you're interested in maybe being the chief.
No, I've talked to all the mayoral candidates. I've talked to everybody except Ollie Tyler because they requested an appointment with me. I've taken the test for chief in the past. I don't know now if I'll take it or not. I did not take it the last time. Listen, this is a very serious moment in Shreveport. And anybody who's chasing a title right now is chasing a rainbow. Because if you take that job, whether it's a substitute or whether it's a permanent job, you have got a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job on your hands, both internally and externally. These streets have got to get safer, or Shreveport's going to be a ghost town.
So you're not interested in the job at this moment?
At this point, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know that this interview is even about that. I know at this point, no one's offered me a job.
Mr. Mike, you said a couple of seconds ago to sort of clarify for all of us. In fact, I wrote it down in reference to Mayor Tyler, too arrogant to follow the law. What law is that, and what should be done about that?
This is a statute. This is Title 33, 2500. You've got to follow the civil service due process laws in order to discipline firefighters and police officers. It's not something that prohibits discipline. Everyone who says that, well, they're civil service, you can't fire them, that is absolutely false. You're simply saying that you don't know your job well enough to do your job. Your job is to manage within a fire and police civil service system, and if you'll take the time, you'll hire the right attorneys, if you'll do the right things, you can get it done. If you go in on the field and you constantly lose the game, are you going to change your game plan? Are you going to study something? Are you going to go look at some films? Well, you know what? I've seen an administration lose for 4 years in a row. I've seen one lose before that. But no one changes their game plan. This is my guy. I'm sticking by him. Well, you stuck by him. You stuck by him, and we suffered for it. Police officers and citizens. I'm both.
Chief Raymond now in charge. Can much really be accomplished? I mean, he's a substitute chief. We got the election hanging over his head. What can he really do in the next 30 days?
My advice is to get up early every day and work hard every day. A lot can be done in 30 days.
What would you like to see him do?
I'd like to see him make some internal changes. I'd like to see him start straightening out some internal issues. But at the same time, we owe it to Shreveport to make Shreveport safer today. Not 30 days from now, not 90 days from now, but today.
What kind of internal changes, pardon me, Mike, what kind of internal changes are you talking about?
We're stagnated. We need new leadership. We need new ideas. The folks we got at the top are part of the past, but not a part of the future. And anybody who doesn't see that, look at the history. Look at what's going on now. They're calling the plays. They're calling the games. Look, on any other team, you start firing defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. You start firing quarterback coaches, and that's the equivalent of these leaders. You've got to start looking at who your team structure is, who is on that team, and who's failing. And then they come back and say, well, they're senior and they're certified, and civil service won't let us fire them. Well, that shows me incompetence.
You
don't know how to get it done, ask somebody.
You said a couple of seconds ago that you weren't inclined to be political, so asking for a mayoral endorsement, probably you're just not going to go there, huh?
No, we're going for a mayoral endorsement Monday starting at 8 o'clock. We're going to run a 24-hour ballot. We're putting the mayor on the endorsement ballot for SPOA. I think that the union members deserve to have the right to have a say in who their mayor is going to be, and they're going to vote by secret ballot, and whoever gets the total number of votes is who I'm going to announce.
Y'all haven't done that in a while, huh?
We've done it. It's been 4 years at least.
Well, you didn't do it before the primary, though.
No, we didn't do it before the primary. It was put before the members 3 times, and 3 times they said we want to wait. And I think that come back from the polls. I mean, they weren't sure about the polls. They were a little bit tight with money, didn't want to run their own poll. So my advice to them was get a solid poll or be cautious. So they were cautious. And now that the runoff is here, I think that they're ready to move. It was a unanimous vote to go for endorsement.
Michael Carter, Shreveport Police Association. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Ruben looks ready.
Major accident on 3132 eastbound has traffic backed up from I-49 to Mansfield Road right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 70. and a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.117 FM, 710 Keel. Time for sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Kiera Anthony scored a school record 50 points Wednesday night in the Thomas Assembly Center to lead the Lady Texters to a 100-88 overtime win over Houston. The senior from New Iberia broke Sheila Etheridge's mark of 47 points that set the standard in the 1990-91 season. Anthony and her teammates struggled in the first two quarters as Tech trailed 46-36, and she only had 6 points at the break. She added 14 points in the third, 17 in the fourth, and Kiera Anthony scored 13 of the Texters' 20 in the extra frame to put away the Cougars. Speaking of Lady Texters, they added one to their mix for next season when Cedar Creek's Anna Laura Roberson signed on the dotted line. Loyola girls hoopster Chelsea Johnson joined the Texas State squad. Airline catcher Hayden Travinsky signed his letter of intent with LSU baseball on Wednesday to headline a bevy of local signees in hoops, track, softball, and baseball, according to the Shreveport Times. Benton's Cole Horton signed with Northwestern State, and Turner Toms inked with Nichols. Parkway Panther Eric Brown with Coastal Carolina. In track and field, Captain Shreve standouts Kennedy Hurd, Kennedy Gerard signed with Prairie View and UL Monroe, respectively. The NFL week kicks off tonight with a couple of teams desperate for a win. Green Bay visits Seattle tonight in the NFL. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you're watching on the Facebook video or the YouTube channel this morning, if you're watching the show on a video, Erin apologizes. She didn't know what that meant.
It's something to do with Arizona State.
Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's their pitchfork. Let's just leave it at that.
1017 FM 710 Keel. You have DavTac again tonight.
Yes.
And people can find out more. Like what time does it start?
5 is registration. 5:30 the class is starting. And
like cost information.
Yeah, it's like
exactly
$100. If you want more, call DavTac at 562-3253 if you want to sign up.
Yeah.
This is a class with me, other ladies, no guys allowed, and it's absolutely a blast.
I had mentioned a couple of days ago. Well, I think may have been yesterday, but I think it was Tuesday. And you were talking about how learning to clean the gun, and I said, I'm not very good at that. And Matt jumps in and goes, "Hold on, Professor. It's only 5 or 6 pieces.
Exactly.
And I said, yeah, but I got a quick story to tell you that will help you understand why I might have a little trouble. I don't have any problem taking the gun apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's putting the gun back together again,
right,
where I might have reached my intellectual capacity.
Yeah.
So this is going back to the I want to say mid to late 1980s. And I had bought for home use. I bought a rowing machine. You know this story.
Absolutely.
I bought a rowing machine. Wanted a rowing machine because I was running about 50 miles a week then, but I was living in Michigan and it gets rainy. And anyway, I needed an aerobic substitute. So I bought a rowing machine at the sporting goods store. I bring it home. I unbox it. And it's like a million freaking pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, and I'm looking at, I'm going, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I go, yeah, you can. So I start on a Saturday at about 1 o'clock, and I've got the instruction booklet, and I start putting this thing together, and it's 1, and it's 2, and it's 3 o'clock. It's 3 in the afternoon. I'm about halfway done, but it's starting to look like a rowing machine. The point is, I started at 1 o'clock. My rowing machine assembly started at 1 p.m. and I finished at about 5:15. And I finish and I tighten the very last screw on my rowing machine. And I turn the last page of the instruction manual and the last part, the last sentence, the final words on the instruction manual are, quoting now, total assembly time should not exceed 45 minutes.
And you took how long again?
About 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. I got an unassembled Taurus PT22 Poly on the floor of my car. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Major accident on 3132 eastbound has traffic backed up from I-49 to Mansfield Road right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
A warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
This cold weather has arrived and it got into the 20s overnight across our region. Monroe yesterday got a little dusting of snow. It actually stayed on the ground. The snow is expected to arrive along the East Coast today. Some of the big cities could be seeing an inch or more. Ben Raymond named substitute police chief in Shreveport. He takes place of Alan Crump, who's going on medical leave until at least March 19th. We asked Mayor Ollie Tyler if she regrets hiring Alan Crump as chief.
You know, I won't say that I regret it. I think I made the right choice at the time. I think as time progressed and I had conversations with him, you know, a year into his appointment about some issues that I was seeing that I was not comfortable with. And, you know, he made a commitment to me that if I ever asked him to step down, that he would.
Chief Raymond's been on the force for 19 years and has spent time in narcotics, special response patrol, and at the academy. The mayor did tell me she does believe she stood behind Chief Crump for too long. Shreveport police have charged 2 juveniles in the fatal shooting of a pizza delivery driver earlier this month. 13-year-old Anthony Mandigo and a 16-year-old boy are accused of shooting Lester McGee multiple times while he was trying to deliver a pizza. The 16-year-old has been caught. Police still trying to track down Mandigo. Grand jury clears a police officer in a shooting. Matt Parker with that.
A Caddo Parish grand jury has ruled that Shreveport police officer Brad Sotak was justified when he shot and killed a suspect during a hostage situation. On September 16th, Jerry Foster was holding a woman hostage at gunpoint and firing his gun at officers. During the encounter, Sotak was able to shoot Foster and bring the confrontation to an end. After hearing testimony from numerous witnesses, the grand jury found no violation of the law. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
State Attorney General Jeff Landry says he will run for re-election rather than make a run for the governor's office. He's been taking a look at challenging John Bel Edwards for several months. The gross domestic product grew in Louisiana for the second quarter of the year, making it the 12th fastest economic growth in the nation and third among the 12 states in the southeast region. Economist Lauren Scott says our state's percentage rate of growth just barely outpaces the national average.
The national average was 4.2. We were 4.3. But if you look at the reason for this, it's from the really high-valued areas of construction and non-durable goods manufacturing.
Scott says the news creates optimism for the state, even in the oil patch, where recent years have not been kind to the industry. The wildfires continue raging in California, the death toll now closing in on 60, more than 130 people still missing. Honesty is said to be its own reward, but a Romanian man did get a monetary reward for returning the $107,000 he found inside a second-hand cupboard he bought. They're not saying how much money he was given. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. Okay, so the CMAs were last night, I guess, and Country Music Awards. And like I'm looking, and this is something I've kind of talked about before, so we won't spend a lot of time. But I'm looking at some of the Facebook posts I just took screenshots.
Does anybody watch those award shows anymore?
I thought CMA stood for Country Music Association. What's this nonsense? Watching the CMA Awards. What the hell happened to country music?
Oh, my God.
Watching the CMAs, my brain isn't playing well with what I'm hearing. I'm country. Curious, what exactly is the target demo for this crap? Okay, get off my lawners.
Oh, boy.
I am a 66-year-old radio veteran. I have been in radio since 1972.
Old guy.
If I went on the radio and complained about the state of top 40 music, me coming up in an era when I grew up with the Beatles, but I'm thinking of the big bands, the bands that were big, the groups that Journey and Boston or Chicago or any of others, top 40 music now doesn't sound like that.
No.
You know why? Because the world changes.
Yes.
Okay.
The Eagles would be country music today.
The Eagles probably couldn't get played on country music because they're not rock enough. The point I'm making is as follows. If you go back about, and honestly, McCoy and I have had this conversation as he was bemoaning one day the state of country music. And I said, Gary, it's a bunch of 25 and 30-year-olds, mostly 25-year-old guys. They grew up on rock and roll. And more to the point, they grew up because it's a small world. The world is shrinking. Mm-hmm. Everybody hears everything. So to assume that 25-year-old country music guys wouldn't be influenced by rock music or metal music, or to an even greater degree as you hear today, in the framing and the production, but more of the lyrics. To think that country music wouldn't be influenced by hip hop is just, it's closing your eyes to.
Absolutely.
It's a bunch of 25-year-old guys who grew up listening to everything.
I watch my 25-year-old now. He'll put on a hip hop song, and then right behind it he'll have Brad Paisley.
But listen,
what on earth is wrong with you?
Listen to country music and listen to the phrasing and the production, and to think that those guys, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, any of those bro country guys, but to think that they're not influenced by hip hop is just it's a changing world. Mm-hmm. Get off my lawn. 839, 1017 FM, 710 Q. When we come back, have you heard anything from Substitute Police Chief Ben Raymond? We've got a few sound bites. We will cover those next. Right now, here's Ruben on KEEL.
Major accident on 3132 eastbound has traffic backed up from I-49 to Mansfield Road right now. And we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up past Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Our warming trend begins today, and that will take us into the weekend coming up. We're going to hold on to sunshine here today at 56. A fair sky tonight, lows tonight at 40. Partly cloudy tomorrow, tomorrow's high 70. And a mix of clouds and sunshine on Saturday, 68. Showers return to the forecast on Sunday. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.117 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. Okay, so what can you tell me about, it just sounds so weird, but I guess it's the official title, Substitute. That sounds odd. Substitute Police Chief. Is that on his business card? Is that on the desk?
No, they're not going to. No, they're not going to get him those. He 19 years on the force. He made some pretty strong comments before the city council on Tuesday, saying that he knows that we need a better show of policing and police force out in the streets. And he is going to adjust some of the manpower that we have in our community.
You had asked police union boss Michael Carter, Sergeant Carter, earlier in the hour and refresh our memories, because you had said he's substitute chief. He's kind of an interim chief. What can he really do? Can he really plant his flag, if you will, over the next month or so until we know who's going to be mayor and whether or not he's going to be the long-term chief?
And Carter said he needs to get to work now. Start right away. Get things moving at least to show some sense of we take this serious. We're getting out there. We're going to adjust our manpower. We're going to get people from behind desks, whatever we have to do to put more cars out on the streets.
Well, Sub-Chief Raymond was kind of asked that very same question. And it starts off our list of 4 sound bites from Chief Raymond. And the first one was, you're kind of coming in the middle, right? I mean, you're kind of, as the phrase goes, jumping on the moving bus. What exactly can you get done?
Certainly, I'm aware of the operations we have been running and those that are on the horizon due to some of the crime issues we've had. I can tell you that I'm going to reevaluate everything that we've done. This obviously is a new appointment to me as well. I believe in proactive policing. I come from a proactive policing background, meaning that I work in specialized divisions where we did not respond to crimes or calls for service. We went out and tried to prevent those crimes from occurring in the first place. And so I plan to bring that personality to this position. And so I'm certainly going to look at some of the ways we can address some of the spikes in crime we've seen. I'm going to look at some of our specialized units, and I understand the reason they were created, and make sure that they're still operating in the manner that I believe they should. They're on the streets when some of these crimes are occurring, and that they are taking the appropriate enforcement actions to try to reduce these crimes.
Okay, so the next comment, the next answer from Substitute Chief, that sounds so weird.
Just call him Chief.
Chief for 30 days. You know what I did? I said to you a couple of times, I may have said earlier in the segment, I'm so focused, I don't remember back a minute or two. I heard from 6 Shreveport policemen yesterday, said they like the guy.
A lot of people like him.
He's a solid cop. They think this is a good choice. He was the one, by the way, earlier on in the Tyler administration, he was the one that scored the highest on the test.
Yes,
he
had the highest score on the civil service test, yes.
One of the points that Mayor Tyler has repeatedly made is that crime is on the decrease. And she's always saying, but the perception, people just have the wrong perception.
If you break into my car, I don't feel like crime's down.
Well, that's kind of what Chief Raymond talks about next. Perception is reality.
I understand that people are getting tired to some degree of seeing that our crime stats have been lower as compared to last year. And I know Chief Gooden has said it, Chief Crump has said it, that if you're affected by crime, you don't want to hear that there's been a reduction in crime. And I understand that. So I'm well aware of some of the issues from the citizens and some of the things that they would like to see the police department to address. And I really kind of hope to get back to the boots on the ground police work and looking to work very closely with the officers that I am now going to be leading, and lead by example.
When we have gotten texts, when we have gotten emails, when we have gotten all the off-the-record stuff from a variety of sources, people inside the department that work there, the Shreveport cops themselves.
Oh, yeah.
What has been one of the biggest criticisms been? It's about the assignments, right?
Yes, that there's not enough manpower out there to help.
That's kind of what Chief Raymond, Substitute Chief Raymond, covers next in the next bite. Is it time to reassess the way that those assignments are done?
Earlier today, when I was approached about this position, I pulled rosters of all our personnel and where they're assigned, both those assigned to Uniform Services Division and Investigative Division. And I'm going to take a closer look and make sure that we have our personnel allocated in the best locations. I understand that we are all patrol officers at heart. We were hired to do the job of patrol officer and actually be out there responding to calls for service. We have the ability to have specialized units to assist with those calls, but I'm going to make sure that we have an adequate number of people on the streets in marked police units available to assist the citizens as needed.
Was that kind of a non-answer? I'm not trying to. I'm not trying.
When
he says, I'm not trying to bust on the guy, but when he says, I'm going to take a look at it, he's been on the force for 19 years.
Well, I mean, it's not his decision before. Now it's his decision. Now he can look at it and go, people who've been complaining, they're right.
So the question is to Chief Raymond, sort of, what you going to do? Is that criticism of Shreveport's police officers being misassigned, if you will, is that a legitimate criticism?
When we talk about officers behind desks versus officers in the streets, for 14 years that I worked in the narcotics division, I had a desk, and most days I spent time at that desk, typing reports and writing search warrants and taking care of evidence. But I spent a large majority of my time on the street wasn't responding to calls for service, but I did have a desk. All our investigators, they had desks. And so I don't know if there might not be a complete understanding, or maybe I don't have a complete understanding of what we refer to as a desk job. But I'm certainly going to look at those people that do spend the majority of their day behind desks and see if we can reallocate those job tasks to other personnel and get some more people back in the patrol cars, which is, I know, what people want to see. They want to see officers in uniform on the streets.
Based on what I've heard, based on what you've heard, on those, the texts, the messages, the information that you and I deem to be anonymous, but kind of talk about on the radio without attaching names to them.
Sure.
Would you say that Chief Raymond has a pretty good chance? Because I'm thinking, yeah. Would you think he has a pretty good chance of being held over by the next mayor, no matter who it happens to be, even if it's Adrian? Do you think Ollie? Do you think Ollie approached this? Do you think Miss Ollie approached this as a temporary fix, or do you think she's thinking, if I get reelected, he's my long-term guy?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I've heard different camps say we need to look to see, do we have the best? Can we find somebody from another city and bring them in and give a complete fresh perspective? You know, I was around here when we did that before, and we brought Chuck Gruber in, and he caused a lot of problems in this town. But there were police cars. You saw police cars everywhere. You know, is there someone within the department that could do just as good a job? Is Ben Raymond the guy?
Okay, let me ask
I don't know.
Okay, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, you won't see this if you're listening to radio. Give me a thumb up or a thumb down. Easter of 2019 is Ben Raymond the police chief. Don't say it. Just give me the thumb sign.
Easter of 2019 is Ben Raymond the police chief.
Wow. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. That video will be up on YouTube, on Keel Facebook page and YouTube channel for later. Traffic update. Ruben's here.
The intersection at North Hearn Avenue and Ford Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Shreveport Police Chief Alan Crump initially said he was retiring, and then he changed his mind, saying he's going to go on medical leave. Mayor Ollie Tyler says he's protected by civil service laws, and she can't fire him now.
People already distrust government, and this just doesn't help. Leaders should do more
then just follow the rules. They should be open, honest, and transparent in what they say, whether they're police chief or running for Shreveport mayor.
This gets to the heart of the problem of a lack of trust in government. If you want people to trust government, then we need to be able to trust the people in government. This action by the chief of police does not inspire trust.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. I'm going to read this again. I think I read this, what was it, late 6 o'clock, early 7 o'clock? I think it was the last segment. When did I have you come look over my shoulder?
Oh, that was 7.
Like 7:20
Yeah.
or so. Okay.
Y'all going to make me sick again?
I'm going to read this again because yes. What's the term?
Because it gives you pleasure. My misery gives you pleasure.
Schadenfreude. That's the term.
Yes.
Schadenfreude.
Yes.
Where your pleasure, your misery gives me
you pleasure.
Hell yeah. Would you? You can't look at me in the eye and say that's not the same for you.
Oh, it's the same for me. Trust me.
Okay.
Yes.
So I found this last night, and I don't know how many people know this, but it's kind of awesome, especially in the sense that it will cause Erin to cramp up.
Yeah, it will.
Lottery officials.
Oh God.
You know, you're always busting on me for interrupting you. I want to see you knowing what I'm about to read.
I cannot be quiet.
I want to see if you can remain silent through
Can I hum?
Me relating this to our loyal listeners. Lottery officials in South Carolina on Tuesday announced that the winner of the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot has not stepped forward. Even though the drawing was nearly a month ago.
Oh my God!
I said it's some guy on a 28-day bender.
Oh.
Matt said this guy probably. What did you say when
I said he probably doesn't even know he won, because I know when I buy lotto tickets, I stick them in the visor of my car. When they fall out, it's like, oh, I better go check these. I guarantee you, this dude has not checked his ticket and he has no idea.
Oh, this idiot doesn't even know he won $1.4 billion?
I wouldn't.
It's got to be a man. There's no way that's a woman.
If you were sitting on that kind of money.
Oh, my God. Could I sit 28? I couldn't sit 28 seconds.
I'd be too terrified. That I would lose the ticket. I would let them know right away to wait a month.
I would glue that ticket to my butt.
I beg your pardon?
I would glue that ticket to my butt.
My God, look at the time. 8:57, 101, next to the others. 8:57, 101.7 FM, 710. KEEL back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Here's Kim Commando.
Smart speakers that obey your every wish. A wall outlet that talks to Alexa. They sound like great tech Christmas gifts, unless they're spying on you. Kim Commando with your Thursday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by BePrepared.com. What you need when you need it at BePrepared.com/Kim. Mozilla reviewed top tech gifts privacy settings. Here's what they found. Baby monitors are a great gift, but don't buy the Freddy. It uses the password 123, and it has no privacy policy. Next, the DJI drone that follows you around. It's great, but it has a history of being easily hacked, and it shares your data with who knows who. The Hydrate Smart water bottle sells your location and other data too. No thanks. And then there's the Smart Things wall outlet. It lets you tell Alexa to turn off the lights that are plugged into it. But it's a wall outlet with a built-in camera and microphone and no encryption. Maybe a tie isn't so bad after all. I'm Kim Commando. Here's why I'm a big fan of SimpliSafe Home Security. SimpliSafe systems are ready for anything that gets thrown at it. If a storm takes out your power, SimpliSafe is ready. If an intruder cuts your phone line, SimpliSafe is ready. Say an intruder destroys your keypad or siren, SimpliSafe will still call the authorities and get you the help that you need. This system has safeguards to protect you against power outages, downed Wi-Fi, cut landlines, bats, hammers, and everything in between. Now, SimpliSafe's triple safeguard protection could cost an arm and a leg, but it doesn't. Instead, they only charge you what's fair. So 24/7 professional security monitoring is just $14.99 a month. And with SimpliSafe, there are no contracts and no hidden fees. That's why I recommend SimpliSafe to everyone. Go right now to simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com to protect your home and family today. simplysafekim.com.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Oh, you're waiting on me. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Weather Channel forecast. Sunny and warmer today. High today in the middle 50s, 30s tonight. Right now, 39 at KEEL, 9 o'clock. Here comes Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and